Hey folks, I'm Roman the Demon Warship Andromeda Ascendant. Who else would I be? Welcome back to my channel and indeed to this double feature episode, which is a tip-to-toe challenge accepted episode. In this video, I'm going to be attempting to recreate some looks that were given to me by my gorgeous drag daughter, DragQueen, who I was speaking to several days ago regarding looks that I can bring to you. The first look, which will be this one, ironically, I almost kind of challenged her to several months ago. Basically, she was looking for something that was a little bit out of the normal and looking for ideas as well. And I suggested that she attempt to recreate one of my, we all know I like purple and black, one of my kind of go-to looks, but with her twist on it. So this was her version of that, and this is one that she wants me to attempt to recreate. And this picture is the other look that she wants me to recreate, which is kind of almost one of her go-to looks, but she tends to use nudes. This is more of a sort of like greens, which complements her hazel eyes quite well, so I wonder how it will go with blue eyes. But the challenge isn't simply to replicate the looks, it's to actually do them simultaneously. So on this side, you'll be getting the standard, just the, her version of the purple smoky eye. And on this side, you'll be getting the literal full kind of drag eye look with the greens. Excuse the messy hair, because I've literally just stepped out of the sonic shower. It is very early in the morning. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to vanish, dry the hair, pop a weave cap on, apply the base layer of foundation, because this episode is basically focusing on the eye look, not the whole shebang. But I will be, obviously dragging this side up just a little. So I'm going to do that, pop the weave cap on, apply the base layers, get the brows done. You'll probably notice I prefer kind of like a sharp brow, whereas Oxygen tends to go for a slightly more curved brow. So I'm going to attempt to copy hers rather than mine, because this is, my version of her looks. And yeah, we shall see what happens. So I shall catch you all in a couple minutes and we shall get started. Okay, so we're back. Before I quickly get on to the actual look itself, just a quick walkthrough of the preparation. Whilst I was in the shower, I used this gorgeous Beauty Formulas facial scrub with activated charcoal just to get rid of, well, basically make the skin nice and soft, get rid of all the dead skin cells, unblock all the pores, remove, all that kind of crap, so we get a gorgeous shiny surface. Then I used this L'Oreal Paris Infallible Mattifying Base, which is a basically primer, so that no matter, even if you have like the shiniest of foundations, it will help to soften it down and turn it into a matte. Then I used L'Oreal Paris's True Match Super Blendable Foundation in the colour Ivory Rose. And basically set it all with a Maybelline Your Face Studio setting powder. Face Studio, really? Okay. And for the brows, I used Rimmel London's Brow This Way styling gel and a very kind of cheap Revolution Focus and Fix eyebrow shaping kit. And I used the medium blonde and the darker brown. And I've tailed the brow in a similar way to Oxygen does, with the curve rather than sharp. But I've actually looked at the picture of the one she tried to copy with me, and she's actually sharpened it out a little bit like I kind of do. But pretty much as the drag side's going to be curved, I thought, screw it, why not do this one curved? So that's the preparation stage. In a moment I shall begin doing the eye look just on this side. I haven't done the brows on that side yet, because we'll get to that later. That's Inky Stinky Binky, star of the show, as he always likes to get involved in every show I do. I'll attempt to talk over the screaming from the cat. Where was I? Yes. God. I love how that cat just makes you forget everything. So yes, we're going to be focusing mostly on the eye look on both sides. Like I said, I will drag this up a little bit with the contour and everything, but on this side it's literally plain, just a base layer and the eye look. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I will quickly go through the colour palette with you and the colours that we're going to be using. Also, I'm not going to make this video drawn out too long, so rather than you watching the steps all the way through, I'm going to start the steps off for you and then zoom through at light speed, slipstream, and to the next step, and then so on and so forth, rather than you sat there going, yep, okay, yep, oh, there's the next colour. So I'm going to start the looks off for you and then skip through. And then eventually we'll get to this side as well, so hopefully you won't be sat there bored and the video won't be too long either. So I'm just going to very quickly get all the rest of the brushes and palettes that I need, and then I will take you through what we're going to use. Catch you in a second. Okay, so we're going to get started with the first look, which is the purple smoky eye. I'm not going to be using any shadow shields because it isn't a winged line, it's a following the natural curve of the eye shape. And some of you may think that it's probably controversial to do this, maybe perhaps a bit too soon, but I'm actually going to be using the James Charles palette by Morphe. To be honest though, who hasn't done some of the things that he's done? I mean, who hasn't tried to get the unattainable person? Never happened to me because I've always got them, but I mean, you know, and especially Jeffree Star, who has done way worse and suddenly abandoned him, but chances are it's all been manufactured because, as the age-old saying goes, no press is bad press, but bad press is still press, so who knows? Regardless of which, James Charles wasn't the reason that I got this palette. The reason I got this palette is because the colours are brilliant and it's a decent Morphe palette and the colour payoff is pretty good, apart from the white maybe. And also because since using the palette and recommending it, Oxygen bought it and it's the one that she used to create these looks with. So at least I'll be able to match the colour payoff, regardless of whether I actually manage to complete the look perfectly, but at least the colours are the same. So for this first look, we've got, well, Oxygen listed 5 colours, but I might be using a few more. But we have Pinkety Dinkety for the transition shade, which is kind of like a peachy light pink. And then for the cut crease, we have Skip and Escape. Skip is like a really vibrant pink. Escape is a slightly more deeper purple. And we'll also be using Spooky, which is the big black one, to kind of smoke out the purple. And then for the inner eye, underneath the cut crease, we'll be using Face, which is kind of like a shimmery, copper, bronzy kind of look. Then for the brow bone, I actually tried this a few days ago, just to see how it would work. Who knows if it works now or not, but it did at the time. To get the brow bone highlight, I'm going to be using Spooky, which is white, and then a ring light, which is kind of like a really bright silvery copper kind of colour, just to highlight the brow bone area. So, like I said, I'm not going to be boring you with each and every step along the way. We're going to start them off, and then we're going to zoom through at slipstream and onto the next step. So I have a mirror over there, but it's a little bit too far over there. So at some points, just to get the details correct, I'm going to be using an equal mirror. So if you can't see, don't worry, I will show you. So big fluffy brush for the Pinkety Dinkety, which is, I was actually going to use a packing brush for this, but you don't want the transition shade too heavy. So load up the brush. And as you can tell with Oxygen's picture earlier, I will pop it back up again in a second. She goes all the way up pretty much to the brow bone and then just leaves a little bit here for the highlight area. Usually with my eyes, with them being sort of like hooded, cut creases can be difficult, but when I tend to go up here, it looks more like Panda. But we're going to do what she did and see what happens. So Pinkety Dinkety, big fluffy brush, everywhere basically. So you don't really need to bother with sweeping motions or getting it in specific areas with this one. This is a pretty much all over colour. So the whining you can hear in the background, typical Inky Stinky Binky, star of the show, fluffy little cat. Seriously, there's that much fluff around here, I could make 6 more Inkies from him, but we love him, so let's try to ignore him and continue on. Pinkety Dinkety everywhere. We're going to zoom through this next bit and get up to the actual cut crease. So I'm going to do this, you watch as I zoom along, see you in a second. Okay, so all of that area is done in the Pinkety Dinkety, which is kind of like the peach. Not sure if you can see the translation at the moment on camera, but maybe with pictures you can. I'll just take a quick look at that. So hopefully you can see the transition shade there. Right, so on to the cut crease now. And she's gone really bold with the colours. And it kind of really doesn't matter at this point because we're going to be concealing the eye part to do the colours later. So in with the lighter colour first. As you can tell, I've already gone underneath, but I've kind of missed the eyelid area a little bit. Some of it has gone through, it doesn't matter because we're going to be cutting that back out again later. So this one, I believe, was Skip, yeah, which is the vibrant pink. Big fluffy brush, and this one's where you do need to do the sweeping motions on the eye and bring it in slightly into the eyelid. And I'm going to be sort of like cutting in the bits underneath as well in this part, but we'll go through those and top them up a little bit later on as well. So sweeping motions across and then filling in into the eyelid area. You know how to do this. We're going to zip through again and we'll see when it's done. So catch you in a few moments. Okay, so that's the Skip done, which is the vibrant pink. We've gone all the way across in sweeping motions and rounded out the eye and brought a little bit just underneath. I'm going to go very quickly just back over the top with the Pinkity Dickity just to blend the top of it out and around the edges because we don't want harsh lines at all. So, and it also starts the smoking out procedure. And just in case you get any fallout, which we don't really care about right now, big fluffy brush, the one that you was applying the setting powder with, up and out. Quick sweep motion, don't press too heavy because otherwise you press it into your skin. Boop, straight out. Okay, so on to the third colour, which is Escape, the slightly darker purple colour. Smaller smaller fluffy brush, and basically the same motions, and just above the eyelid. This is actually kind of working out pretty good for me. Because of the hooded eye, you don't often see a decent cut crease, but I'm trying to stay above where my folds would be, and then you'll see the cut crease blend through later, which is just the eyelid. So yeah, in with the colour Escape, which is like a kind of a deep purple. Like I say, same motions, sweep in and then fill in and drag it into the eyelid, and we'll go back in with the Skip and blend it out a little bit. So we're going to do that, we're going to zoom through, and you'll see it in a minute. Okay, so that stage done, the purple is in there, you can definitely see that on the camera now. Very quickly back in with the Skip, just to soften the edge. And then one more time, overlap with the Pinkity-Dinkity, and just see it start to blend out and not be quite so harsh. So now comes the fun part. Now we have to actually create the crease in the inner line. Like I say, you can see at the moment it started to blend over the eyelid, but we have a neat trick for that. We have this is concealer. It's by the same L'Oreal Paris Perfect Match, same as the foundation range. This is shade 1N Ivory, and I have a tiny cute little brush so I can get some fine detail. I'm not going to bore you to tears with this one, I'm just going to do it and then we'll get on to the colour. So bear with me when I do this and I shall see you in a moment. This is painstaking process, so it could take a while. So, that didn't take as long as I thought it did. So we've mapped out the crease, and we have gone a little bit above where the purple blends in. So I'm just going to quickly go over the top of that again with the purple. which was the escape colour, with only what was left on the brush though, no more. And it helps get rid of that harsh line, but puts in the colour back that we wanted. There we go. And now we're going to use a, if I can find it, kind of more of a packing brush for this one. So this is the shade Face, which is kind of like the coppery, bronzy, shimmery colour for the inner lid. So lots of colour on the brush, tap slightly, and we're just literally going to pack that all on the inner eyelid. And I don't need to show you how to do this bit, so zoom through once again and I shall show you when it's finished. Okay, so that stage is done now with Face to do the eyelids, and we're going to very quickly just blend in the rest of the colours and bring them back into the eyelid as well. But as you can see, that is pretty much, oops, pretty much all done. The crease is done, the eye is done, and apart from finishing the underneath, which I'll touch up now, that is pretty much the finished look. And luckily, considering I've gone quite far up as option have done with this one, you can actually see the cut crease with my eyes open, which is something you can't always get with hooded eyes. So I'm going to finish off this look, and then I'm going to show you in the second part just before we start the next one. But I'm also going to do this brow, drag brow off screen like I did last time, and then we're going to start on the drag look as well. So I'm going to finish that, show you the finished product, and then we'll start on this side. Catch you all on the flip side, see you soon. Okay, so one step that I did forget in that last part, which I've just done now, was the highlight of the brow bone. So we went in with the spooky white and also the ring light just to highlight the brow bone, filled in the underneath area, and we've also done the lashes to make it pop out a little bit. Set out with spray, covering this side of course, because we don't want this side setting yet, we haven't even started. But now we will be starting, so just going to quickly go ahead and map out the brow area, and then we'll get, like I said, this is mostly focusing on the eye look, get everything else out of the way first, then we'll come back to the eyes and greens. Not used to using greens, so let's see. Okay, so we're back and we are ready to get kick-started with the second half of this look. As you can see, I've already got zip drag brow done, and yes, I did it. To get the drag brow done, basically I used a concealer and I went over it with Spooky, which was white, and then right at the very top, just to get a bit of a sheen on, with the ring light colour, and then used the same Revolution eye fix and focus palette to do the brow. And as you can see, it's way up here and not here where this one is. So yeah, drag brows. And with this one, we can basically, there's so much area to work with, so you can pretty much go nuts with the brush, and it won't really make much of a difference. You can't go completely wrong with makeup. Just play around. I mean, we are trying to copy, so there is a little bit of we can go wrong here, but in general terms, you can't often go wrong. Just play around and have fun. We will be doing the contour and highlight on one side, which is going to be crazy, and the lips in Auction's picture. She usually goes for like a DP brownie ready colour, and that kind of looks that way, but I don't think I have anything to match that, so we'll improvise, possibly even using shadows and cheating. But anyway, onto the eye look, and this is also a cut crease, but it's also slightly more winged and angled, whereas this one was rounded. The colours in this one are B, which is a kind of a yellowy, kind of really vibrant neon greeny colour. It's more yellow than anything. That's for the transition. Then we're going to be using Social Blade and Daddy, which is a light and a darker green, for the cut crease. And then, if I can remember this time, because I forgot before and did that off camera, which the Spooky for the wing and smoking it out a little bit. And then the inner eye is more of just the white Spooky colour. How well that's going to show up on the camera, I'm not entirely sure, but this hasn't done too bad. You can actually see this, which is quite funny because it's probably just me being colourblind. I could barely see it whilst I was doing it, but when you're that close with a mirror, sometimes it doesn't always pay off. You have to kind of like stand back and take a look. So, we're going to get our hugest fluffy brush again. Yes, they are all clean, which is kind of why you haven't seen it take that long. It's taken longer. But we've only been here for an hour in total, so it's not too bad. And we've almost got another look done. So, big fluffy brush, and I have to remember where the hell I put the mirror. There it is, found it. Big fluffy brush, lots and lots of yellow, and pretty much go nuts in the entire area, all the way up to where your eyebrows originally were. Doesn't matter, go nuts with it. Cover the entire top area. And as before, I'm not going to go all the way through the process. We're going to start off, skip through it, and then on to the next one. So, transition colour everywhere. I really should have probably used a shadow shield for this one, because like I said, this has got more of a wing to it. However, we're going to hope for the best. So I'm going to do this transition shade, and I shall see you in a moment or two when we shall be doing the next colour, focusing on the cut crease and the green. So see you in a moment. Okay, so we are ready for the next stage. I know it looks really yellow right now, but trust me, it will work as a transition when we get to the greens, which is what we're going to do next. I need to move that out of my way because it's what I was reading colours of. And onto the next size fluffy brush, slightly smaller one. Blow all that colour away. We're now going in with Social Blade, which is the lighter of the two green colours. Like I say, you can pretty much go nuts because there's lots of area to work with. Cross legs. So same again, sweeping motions like you would for pretty much any look, whether it's a cut crease or not. And kind of get it in the V shape, the angled area towards the edge as well. So off we go with that. Start at the outer edge, working in. You can pretty much go nuts with this colour because we're going to go darker underneath in a moment. So I shall do this, and I shall see you in a moment. Okay, so that one's done. Gonna blend out the edges again a little bit with the B, like we were doing previously. And then in Viv's the next colour and a slightly smaller brush, although it really doesn't matter because, like I say, you need to kind of, you've got a lot of eye area to work with in this one, but we're going in with Daddy, which is the darker green colour. And in this one, you can actually get away with using the black as well because you've got a whole area to cut out later with the concealer. But you want to bring this one slightly further down, but still focusing on those areas. Back in over the top with the previous colour, just to smooth it out, like we did before. And a very light touch of the original. Just to get them all perfectly blended. Right, so I'm going to be very dangerous here. I'm going Viv Spooky, which is the black one, just mainly focusing on the outer V and perhaps a little touch on the cut crease. But like I said, don't worry if you fuck up a little bit because this is one that we can quite easily cut out. It isn't a problem. So just on the inner side. Oops. I do it again half a go. Okay, so now it's time to cut out the crease itself like we did earlier with this little tiny detail brush and lots of concealer. And as you can see, there's lots of black there right now. I've gone in with the angle, but don't worry, we're going to literally minimise the black that is on that section. So we shall go once again with this. You all know how this works. I'll catch you in 2 seconds as soon as I have done it. Let's go. Okay, so crease mapped out. Still drying, but that's why we have huge fluffy brushes and setting powder. Although this huge fluffy brush is kind of yellow at the moment, so quick clean. And then help it to set. We don't want any yellow on there at all. Why did I not have another brush? We could actually do this with a huge brush right now to set it, but I ain't gonna. So very quickly set it and let it dry. It kind of cuts out the drying process. That's what you're pretty much doing. You're drying it. And as you may have noticed, I've also gone into the inner corner of the eye and then brought it slightly under as well, which is good for me because it opens up the eyes. Because with hooded eyes, one thing you need to do is open them bitches up. Okay, so the drying, setting powder stage is done. I have a new clean brush. I'm going to give it a few more seconds and then we're going to go in with Flashback, which is the white colour, and we're literally going to layer it on. Pack it in, all the way in. So, huge amounts on the brush. Pack that bitch in as much as you can. Here we go. And like I said, I might, to help it stand out, use some of the face colour that we used for the previous eye, because in this palette the white doesn't always pay off. Or maybe it's just me with the base concealer that I'm using that doesn't translate well. Who knows? It could be a little bit of both. Okay, and then for under the eye area, it simply looks like she's basically brought most of the black and the darker green in. So we'll start with the, oops, if I can find it, my big fluffy, which was that one. With the daddy. Actually, I'm going to use this brush. It's like a packing brush, but finer detail, although you don't really need that much fine detail with this because everybody knows drag makeup's everywhere. Drag makeup's pretty much a fill in the missing blanks kind of. Take that all the way up to the corner. Quickly clean the brush and then go in with the Social Blade just to soften it out a little bit. Underneath there, a little bit under where the white is. Pretty much to the corner, almost, but not quite. And then if you really have to, touch up the black in the corners just a little bit. This is going to be the dangerous part, but it also helps to smooth out, or rather disguise, the any overlap from the cut crease you did. And the whole thing is a cut crease, but you know what I mean. Any overlap from the concealer that you did. So just a little bit there in the corner, not much, I could have done with a probably finer detailed brush. However, that, and along with a little bit mascara too, which I shall do off camera again, I'm not going to bother adding false lashes to that, although it probably would make the profile a little bit better if I did. But like I said, this video is mostly about the eye look. So there you go. Greens, a little bit of smoky black, huge drag brows, and vitins in the middle, and all cut in underneath as well. Yes, we have got the contour and highlight left to do, and the lips, but like I said, this is mostly about the eye look, so I'm going to very quickly do those. I'm going to do the lashes, mascara, well not lashes, just mascara, because I can't bother with lashes. Gluing them on just for one, no, it's pointless. Very quickly going to do that off camera for you, show you the finished look, and if you like it, give it the thumbs up, and show off to Oxygen Drag Queen that I managed to do her challenge. What do you think? Challenge complete? Save that judgment for when you see the 100% finished product. I shall be back in a couple of moments. Okay, so we are back with the finished look. I did mascara on the lashes. I contoured the nose using a NYX contour palette. Highlight there, whether it translates on camera or not, I'm not entirely sure. And Oxygen really loves her overdrawn lips. So, like I said, I didn't have the shade that she did. So I went in with a pink, basically it's a lip gloss. And then I cheated a little bit with some eyeshadows from the James Charles palette. I kind of went a little bit nuts with them. First of all, we had, if I can remember, because the packet is in here now. I went in with the Love That to add a little bit more depth to the pink, so to kind of make it purple. Then we went in with Boutique and finally a kind of orangey red shade, You're Kidding. And that is the overdrawn lip that Oxygen is. See, I usually follow the normal shape of my mouth, but Oxygen does really big lips, so we did try to copy that. So contoured nose. There is no actually contoured cheek on Oxygen's picture, which is the reason why I haven't done it, because I was literally about to do it, referred myself back to the picture, went, no contoured cheeks in that one, so we're not going to do it. So yeah, normal, and the purple smoky eye, versus the drag with all the greens and gorgeous eyebrows and all kinds of things. I would pretty much say that that was not only challenge accepted, but challenge nailed. So stay tuned for the next episode when I will be bringing you a gorgeous gothic vampy look inspired by a picture that I saw recently. And also by kind of taking back a few years to a look that I kind of did that was very similar. But yeah, I'm going to be adding my own spin on a recent picture that I saw. But we're going to be doing literally tip to toe. We're going to be doing the whole outfit as well. And I've also been made aware of a competition for a new weave, which is pretty much a rainbow kind of spectrum theme. So I'm going to be doing that for you as well, so stay tuned for those. In the meantime, as for this double-barreled, double feature episode, Tip to Toe Challenge Accepted, dismiss, that's the Starfleet expression for we fucking did it. Oh yeah, and also, one final word before I go. If you would like to sponsor me and my channel, the Patreon link is at the bottom, patreon.com/Demon Worship. And of course, don't forget to the thumbs up, share it, get loads of people to like it. I'm not going to bother putting the weave on because this is all coming off in like 3 seconds flat. I look like the Joker with, you know, why so serious? Yeah, Scarface is even worse. Anyway, so yeah, that is genuinely the end of the episode now. So what are you still doing here? Go like it and tell everybody else about it.